congratulations.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
So, well, excited to get started again. Thanks again for coming out. We always appreciate the fact that you guys come out and cover us, and it's great to see everybody again, and we're excited to get rolling here. So, we always talk in the season in terms of kind of a theme, and our theme this year is keep building. We certainly are proud of the year we had a year ago, but we really left some things on the table last year, and I think we felt it was a good season, not a great season. And I think this football team is hungry. It feels like they have a lot to prove, and the way you measure that is how they handle every challenge. And in order to have a good season, just to get to this point, a lot of things have to happen. You have to have a great winter and off-season program. I felt our guys did that. You have to have a productive spring ball. I felt our spring was very productive. And then the time of the year that scares you the most as a coach is summer. Because with all the NCAA rules, we're not allowed to be around them. We're not allowed to be on the field when they're on the field. We're not allowed to be in the weight room when they're in the weight room. And so when you cut them loose at the end of the second semester, you hope when you get them back for camp that they've done the things they needed to do. And our guys had a great summer. I got to give a lot of that credit to Coach Horgan. Our strength coach does a tremendous job with them. But this is certainly the strongest football team that we've had in my tenure here. And I think they're in great physical conditioning. And so because of that, they really handled the stress of camp well. Again, not every practice is great, but I don't think there was ever a day that they didn't show up and give us a great effort. And so just all those things you have to do to have a chance. And now that the season has started, it's a one-week season. And this week it's about Tulsa. It's going to be a great home opener. We have great respect for Tulsa. I think some teams are good teams, and then I think some programs become great programs. And we have respect for Tulsa as a great program. I mean, they have been one of the winningest teams in the country for the last 6, 7, 8 years. That record goes through 3 head coaches, Coach Craig Thorpe, and then Coach Graham, and now Coach Blankenship is putting his own stamp on the program. This is a team that won 11 games a year ago. They're defending Conference USA champions. They won a bowl game against a good Iowa State team, and they're an excellent football team. So, this certainly is probably the best team that we've played non-conference at home in the DOI since Boise. And that was an electric atmosphere. And we're hoping we can get that same atmosphere here Thursday. So I think people that come out are going to see 2 very good football teams going at it in an opening game. And I know our guys are anxious to play against someone else and get a game under their belt. And we'll see how good we are. We're certainly going to get challenged out of the gate. So if there's any questions.
Obviously, Tulsa's offense, they bring back almost every skill player from an offense that averaged over 450 yards a game. Mm-hmm. What kind of challenges do they present, especially on that side of football?
Well, I mean, first of all, you got 2 tailbacks that are NFL prospects. The Watts kid and the Douglas kid are both really good players. I mean, and they just wear you down. I mean, if you watch them, they're very well coached. Their offensive line is very physical. I think that's a little bit how Tulsa's different now than maybe when we played them in 10. I think in 10, you're very worried about the speed and all the things they did, all the spread with the jet sweeps and a lot of the bubble game. And now, I think that's the stamp that Coach Blankenship's put on it in this program, is they are a physical downhill run team, but they mix up a lot of perimeter sweeps and different ways to get the ball on the edge, and then their skill on the edge is really good. I mean, they have some big-time wideouts. I mean, they certainly have the personnel that they can throw it for 400 yards a game. But it starts with the quarterback. He's a Nebraska transfer, Cody Green, and 6'4", 6'5". They say he's 250. He looks every bit, if not bigger than that. I mean, I think he could probably play tight end or offensive tackle for us, and he's a load now. And he also throws the ball, so you say, geez, they're running the ball 250 yards a game. You want to crowd out the box, but they got some guys on the edge that can make you pay, and teams have done that to them. They've made big plays on the perimeter, so their wideouts are good. It's a veteran group. They're a little new on the O-line, but again, they're a good program. So, guys graduate and guys step up, and there's a reason they're picked as high as they're picked and ranked where they're ranked. And it's a good football team.
Talk about the uniqueness of starting on Thursday night here. Is that something that you like?
I love it. That's awesome. You kidding me? we get to play football before anyone else in the country. So are we the first kickoff? Maybe somebody plays an hour before us or something? Does anybody know that? Todd?
I think there's a couple before us.
Darn, I wanted to be first.
I don't blame you.
But I mean, there's a lot of things. I think right now, this time of the year, there's an excitement about college football nationally and also here, and we want to play first. And I think, school just started. It's a holiday weekend. We wanted to play before the weekend got here, and hopefully we're going to have a great student turnout, and hopefully a great community turnout. And, I think if we can get people here to this game, we want to give them a reason to come back. So, yeah, we love that it's Thursday night.
You mentioned this is the strongest team you've ever had. Is it the best team you've ever had since you've been here?
I don't know, ask me that question in December. So, I mean, I feel very good going into it, but, every season is a unique season. You have, we're going to face adversity. What type of adversity? How does the team handle it? The credit to last year's team when we got off to a slow start after Virginia Tech. They came back and had the mental toughness and the wherewithal to then find a way to win 6 games. So, we're going to get challenged early. The beginning of our schedule is certainly tough, as it always is. But, we expect to be good. I think we're talented. And now, it's easy to say that stuff, but now the games start and the score counts. And, you find out how good you are starting on Thursday.
You've been around the MAC long enough now. Is this a MAC championship caliber team?
Again, we got to, do we have ability? Yes. But do we execute? And do we do the little things and all those detail things that are necessary to win at that level? We'll find out. So, I mean, certainly that's our goal. And, our goal is to get to Detroit. Once we get there, our goal is to win in Detroit. But there's a lot of battles ahead before you can start, there's no paper championships. You got to win this league on the field. And, certainly there's some people coming back, but there's areas that we have to improve from a year ago if that's a real goal. We've worked hard at it, but we'll find out if we improved or not. You don't find it out till you play other people.
What are you expecting from Tulsa's defense? I know they've lost a lot of people, but I guess maybe more scheme-wise than personnel-wise.
Well, they have the same coordinator, and he's a guy that's had success at a lot of different places. A good friend of mine worked with him at Arizona State and had great respect for him. And, they were a top, I think, 25, top 30 defense a year ago. So you think of Tulsa, scoring points, but, you look at them last year's statistic. When you win 11 games and win a championship in a bowl game, you're good everywhere. You can't just do that on one side of the ball. So, again, they're a physical football team. Their linebacker, Jackson, is probably one of the best we'll face. They have an excellent safety. DeMarco Nelson, who I think is a really good player, the middle linebacker's back. And again, this is a staff that's very experienced. They know what they're doing. I'm sure there's going to be some tweaks, and that's always the challenge of an opener, is that you're looking at what they did a year ago, and I'm sure there's some adjustments they made to their personnel, or maybe scheme-wise, and that's always the fun thing of openers, that this is what they're doing differently, and how quickly can you see it, and how quickly can you adjust, and that's why our coaches get paid.
You mentioned the strength of schedule. It would be somewhat easy for schools not to schedule games at Southern Mississippi, at Indiana, with Tulsa this year and last year, and all the schedules. What is the philosophy that you use in putting together a schedule?
What's the philosophy I use or I would use?
Oh, boy. You can answer both.
Okay, I'll tell you what. This, to me, is the ideal MAC schedule. Okay, the ideal schedule for us is we play 1 game a year. We're going to go anywhere in the country, play a top 10, top 15 team, and they're going to pay us a lot of money. As we all know in this league, that's the reality of this league. And then we play, 2 other games that are good games. That if you're good, you win, and if they're good, maybe, and you don't play well, they win. And then 1 game that, that it's a bye game for you. So I always think that, that's a very balanced MAC schedule. We have not played that here. But I'd also say this, I think the teams that we've had that are good, that can handle that mentally, we're better for it in the MAC schedule once the MAC schedule gets here. I think opening at Florida last year, if you don't have a veteran team, if you don't have a mentally strong team, that can have have an effect. Last year's team could handle that. They knew who they were playing, and I think when we walked off that field against Florida, we felt that we had a chance to have a good football team, even though we didn't find a way to win. But, yeah, we play some good teams this year, but our players like that. I'd say this, that, one of the things that we haven't done here since '09, when we beat Troy at home, is I can't say that there's been a huge non-conference win that we've had. I think for the most part, we've won the games we probably should win. We haven't won the games that were a little bit uphill. And, if we want to be considered a great program, we got to start winning those games. So, we'll have 3 opportunities this year to play teams that are from, an automatic BCS conference, or the highest ranked of all the teams preseason we play is Thursday. So people are going to, obviously you're going to an SEC and a Big Ten team down the road, but of all those teams, the highest ranked one's Tulsa. So in our non-conference schedule, this is going to be a great test, and I think it's great that we get a game against an opponent like this at home. People always say they want to see good teams at the Doit. There's a great football team coming to the Doit this Thursday, and our players are excited about it.
This schedule basically fits the philosophy that you just talked about, right?
A little bit.
I mean, if Mississippi State is that we'll go anywhere and play anybody. And
Yeah, I mean, Mississippi
make some
State
money.
is the bye game. The other, Indiana's a 2-for-1. So if, to get a Big Ten team to come to your stadium, a lot of times you have to go there twice. So we did that. And then Tulsa's the back end of a home and home. So, this is a good schedule.
Looking at, and I don't know if your travel roster is set yet or not, I assume it's pretty close, or your dress roster rather. Would you compare that roster this year over the past couple of years? I mean, especially in terms of how many freshmen do you think you'll dress, true freshmen, things like that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have those numbers memorized, but, just look at our 2D. 2 years ago, I think, Dave, you did a breakdown on this for us. 2 years ago, we had 34 freshmen and sophomores in the 2D. And I don't know this year if we have more than 6 or 7. We've got a couple on offense, the 2 tackles. But on defense, every starter for us is a junior or a senior. So we are clearly a more veteran, more experienced football team. And, 2 years ago, 3 years ago when we struggled, we were young. And we would hope as we got older we'd get better, and clearly took a step last year in that direction. And now the next step is the most difficult step.
What are the advantages to having that veteran kind of team in an opener, specifically in an opener?
Well, again, these guys have opened, at Florida. These guys have played at Michigan in the Big House. We've played at, this group has played at, some of them played at Missouri. These guys have, when you play against opponents like that in that atmosphere, I think you're ready for openers. But I think our team is also smart enough that they can watch the film on Tulsa and they know they're playing a good football team. And sometimes when you're young and you're not experienced, that will be fine with me. Our guys know the film doesn't lie, and they can watch film and they know when they're playing against somebody good. And I think to a man, they know they're playing against a good football team. But I think also to a man, they know that we've got to when you play a game like this, it's on us, and we've got to execute at a high level. And if we execute at a high level, we believe we're good enough to play with anybody on our schedule. But if we don't execute at a high level, you're certainly not going to be a team the caliber of Tulsa. So when you play really good teams, it puts pressure on you to play at a high level. This is a team, if you miss a tackle in the open field, there's not going to be a linebacker that catches their running back from behind. If we miss an alley tackle, the scoreboard's being lit up, but the cannon's not going off. So, and our guys know that. They learned that at Florida last year. We played well at Florida, but we missed 2 tackles in space, and they had the type of skilled athletes to make you pay. And I would say Tulsa has, on the perimeter, some very gifted football players. And I think also up front, we were a very, very good run defense a year ago. We were good up front. We tackled well in the second level. We did not play a team that rushes the football like these guys. So, let's see how good we are. match up with one of the best rushing teams in the country. You know, again, this is a team with two backs and a 250-pound quarterback that, you know, ran the ball almost, you know, 250 yards a game last year. So this will be a great challenge for us. And again, our guys are not intimidated by it; they're excited about it. And you know, if you want to be considered not just a good team but a great team, you have to play games like this and play defense and find ways to score points in the red zone and find ways to win.